Do you think, talking about the Electoral Amendment Act now, do you think the continuous mounting of agitations, open rallies, and protests by civil society groups, youth organizations, the media, and human rights groups pressurized the president into signing the Electoral Act Amendment Bill into law, looking at some of the reservations made by the president, which would have otherwise made him withhold his assent still? And would it also change the attitude of our politicians during elections? These are two questions infused into one.
And we just hope that that is the case. We really hope that that is the case. But, you know, again, with our politicians, nothing is cast in stone. You can have an excellent legal framework to govern our elections, but how about the individuals? How about the individuals? Because we do not have bad laws. It is bad people that we really have. Then, of course, looking at INEC, are we sure that the INEC is prepared to fully implement the law to the letter? For example, INEC already told us that it is illegal for attorney officer or any resident electoral commissioner to not make use of the card reader as a means of conducting electronic accreditation of voters. But what we see is a situation in which compromised INEC officials refuse bluntly to use the card reader. They refuse to use the card reader. So allowing politicians and other undesirable elements to effectively rig elections. We saw this during the off-season election in Kogi State. We saw this during the off-season election in Bayelsa State. And it continues to happen. When the card reader was first introduced into our electoral process in 2015, we recorded about 56% compliance with the card reader. And that was why the 2015 election was generally seen as reflective of Nigerians for change. But the off-season election that took place after that and the 2019 election showed a drastic reduction in compliance with the card reader, a drastic reduction in the use of the card reader. We now saw more and more of our elections taking place without the card reader being put to use. And when you refuse to use the card reader, you are permitting people to rig the election mindlessly. That held in Bayelsa State, and the off-season election held in Kogi State, where there were shootings and all that. The law says that where the card reader is bypassed, the election held in that polling station must be cancelled. And the law, the INEC guideline, does not envisage that at any point in time, the card reader can be bypassed. It envisages that even if there are issues with the card reader, that by the next day, the election can be stopped and then started afresh the next day. That is what the INEC regulation says. So, but we keep hearing of 2 million votes somewhere, 1.5 million votes somewhere, you know. On many occasions, the card reader is not even used in those places. In some places, we allow underage voting to take place. So when you allow underage voting to take place, underage people to vote, you have compromised the legitimacy of the election. You have compromised the sanctity of the election and the validity of the election. So we've got to push hard to get our politicians to change their ways. No matter how we try to sanitize our electoral process, if we do not get the politicians to change their ways and change for the better,
Yeah.
we will only see very little change in the entire process.